Hello everyone, my name is BishiDove, and today we're going to be playing some more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. That whole big title. But yeah, welcome in everyone. Sorry about that quick reset I just had to do. My audio gets a little complicated sometimes, and I always try to check before I start stream that it's working, and this time I forgot to check that. So my headphones weren't giving me any audio. Y'all were still able to hear the music, thankfully, from my starting screen, but I couldn't hear anything, so, yeah. But I had to restart my OBS software to fix it. That's always what fixes it, so. Sorry about that. I'm here. No internet issues today, hopefully. It was literally just a computer thing I just had to fix real quick. But yeah. I see y'all are using some of those new commands here. I made... how many? I think 3. There are 2 new commands, and then I changed up one of the old commands. So that's new. We have a new lurk command. I just gave it some emotes that fit it better. And we have a late command now for any of y'all that, you know, pop into stream a couple hours in or something and you want to say something, you could just use the late command. And then we have the hundredth command, which is a little hard to spell. So yeah, we have a few commands there now. Now the thing is with the 100th command, if someone uses it, no one else can use it for like an hour. So if you didn't see it, you won't see it until an hour from now. Yeah, the 100th command is just the most extra command that you could use. It's a whole paragraph. For anyone who's like, oh, I got here really late and I just want to be extra and say that I'm the 100th person. We already have last, but I thought that a 100th one would be fun. Why are you saying princess? Who's princess? Is this a little princess you're referring to? This little pink sweatered princess dog? Look at her.
It's a little princess. It's a little princess. It's a little baby. Look at how I have to hold her. She's so little. She's so small.
Look at her face. She's just like... Puppy-chan.
She's so cute. Look at her little feet. Her little paws.
3,200 seconds. I just think that's hilarious. You try to do a command, it's like... The cooldown is like 5 days. What's happening? Am I still having audio stuff? Am I still having audio issues? No. No. Now this is the weirdest audio issue I have ever had. So I can hear OBS. I can hear the music in my background, right? Yeah. But I can't hear my computer's audio, which would include my sound effects. Like, as I restarted my bot, I should have heard the little doodle-doo. I wonder if I would have to restart my computer? That's just so weird. Okay, let's open up my sound settings, specifically. Oh, wow, that is weird. So, oh, okay. I didn't even know this was possible. My headphones are only picking up OBS, right? Which is what I thought. And I can switch over devices and go look at what's listening to everything else, and it's like a different audio output. Like it's a totally different system. Like I have 2 separate audio systems right now, my headphones and then my computer. What the heck? That's never happened to me before. We're in the Matrix now. Yeah, we're like in a separate universe from everything else. But then sometimes that messes with OBS, and then I can't hear OBS. I know you guys want your max wieners. I know! What do you think I'm doing? I'm trying to fix it. Okay, bear with me. I guess we're stuck with minimum wiener. Calm down, everyone. There are enough max wieners to go around. We have to go deeper, what? Could you make the sound effects yourself? If we have to. Max wiener. There. You do a good, oh brother, this guy stinks! Sound effect, thanks. Oh. There. I'm like fighting with you guys. Like, let me do the one I want to do. I feel like that's a clippable moment right there. Then clip it, my good sir. Have y'all seen those memes where it's like, oh, well, how does it go, Ruuuvo? It's like, they crack me up. I can't think of how they start, but the punchline is, my brother in Christ, you're the one who did it. Like, how does it start? What's an example? Oh my god, I can't think of them. Oh, okay, here's a good one. Dudes be like, Subway sucks. My brother in Christ, you made the sandwich. I don't know why it makes me laugh. My brother in Christ is amazing. Someone with Twitter being a cesspool. My brother in Christ, you made the build. Yeah, like, no shade to you at all. I was just like, that's what I wanted to do to you. I was like, I feel like that's a clippable moment. I was gonna be like, my brother in Christ, you're able to clip, or something like that. It's like, my brother in Christ, you follow the accounts. Yeah, I've seen that one too. Oh my god. Americans be like, gas prices are too high. My brother in Christ, you made the car-dependent infrastructure. But to be fair, the consumers didn't do that. Oh yeah, dudes be like, everything one-shots me. Why is this game so hard in Elden Ring? My brother in Christ, you made the build. Guys be like, Chipotle sucks. My brother in Christ, you made the bowl. Gotcha players be like, I'm broke. My brother in Christ, you made the rolls. Oh my god. Alright, let's switch over. With that last insult, let's play video games. Oh man. Mo be like, it's tough being a clown. My brother in Christ, you were held in contempt of court. Oh my goodness. All right, December 30th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Good morning, Max. Oh, yeah. Good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it.
Teehee.
Oh.
Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk.
Regina. How fabulous! My sweetie pie! My sweetie pie princess! Boo! You came to watch my performance today?
Of course I did! Mo told me that I should come and watch this.
Mo said that?
So, what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess. You'll fly at the end?
It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? You're not gonna fly? Ugh, disappointing. I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't... Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is. I hope he's getting second thoughts.
Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today, I'm just a member of the audience.
Fabulous! Enjoy yourself out there.
Good luck, Max. You're the best.
No, he's not. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick?
Top of the morning to you! Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo! How low can you go?
Mo.
Top of the morning to you, Governor!
Top of the morning. Top of the morning to you, laddies!
That's the ticket! Attack in the day starts with energy in the morning! The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk.
Oh my, thanks. Why does he want milk?
So how are you today, right?
Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit.
You mean Acro?
Huh? You think he did it?
Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line, literally. He's got guts to spare.
If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already.
It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses.
What are you going to do then, Nick?
I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today, we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth.
You're right, but it's gonna be tough.
Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father.
You want us to make sure Regina watches?
Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today.
What's that supposed to mean?
She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars.
Why is Mo the realest one here? Divorce changes you.
Oh my god.
Oh, Mo. See, he's probably the best person here, despite having the most annoying voice, thanks to me. He kind of has a point. I mean, yeah, she doesn't know anything about the world, and yet all of these grown men are wanting to marry her. She doesn't even know what dying means. How do you... I mean, you can't date someone that doesn't understand that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not right. So, yeah, she's extremely immature. She is technically a minor, you know? She's a kid still. She doesn't know anything. So, yeah, Mo's like, what the hell? What is happening? Wake up, you know? December 30, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. Which I think would be Acro. So again, I have a bunch of notes to help me with this game. I have, let's see now. I have 2 pages front to back of notes. So hopefully something in here helps me. Now, the conclusion I came to last week before I ended stream was we learned that Acro and his brother Bat were involved in an accident with the lion in the circus. And Bat was injured so badly he is now in a coma, and Acro is not able to walk. Something that we learned that would probably be important is that Bat would always tease Regina with Pepper, and Pepper is what we found in the box that was under the dead body. And let's see. The day of the accident, Regina gave Bat a scarf, and then when Bat did a dare that Regina put him up to put his head into the lion's mouth, the lion made a weird face and then chomped down. So what I'm thinking is that there's pepper on the scarf, Regina or someone else put pepper on it, it made the lion sneeze, and then the lion accidentally hurt the kid. I say kid, but he's actually in his 20s. Hurt the guy, and I think that's what happened. But I don't know, like, who put the pepper, if they did it on purpose, if anyone intended for this to happen, you know, all of that stuff. But that is what I know and what I'm going towards here. So yeah, many thoughts. Yeah, why so much milk? Why does Max like milk so much? What's wrong with him? I'm playing Genshin right now, and I didn't even have to look at chat to know someone was adding me. Yep. Sorry for talking about uni again and again. Today was great. Had lots of fun during class. I was surprised to see some people recognize me because of my hairstyle on my school account's profile picture. Oh, nice! Oh, that's so cute, Zoe. I'm so glad you had a wonderful first in-person day at your university. I hope the rest of your days are just as wonderful. And hope you're able to make some friends and stuff. That'd be awesome. Mo stands Jacksepticeye. Yeah, exactly. Can't believe Mo is giving out reality checks. Yeah, the clown. That's what I'm saying. What about the star jar? Have I been lied to? No. These stars are as real as you or I. They are physical pieces of paper You can see them with your eyes. Those stars are real. Alright. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Order! Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Oh, poor Gumshoe! Poor Gumshoe. Very well. Please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work. Or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. You don't have to die to be in the star jar. That's even better, isn't it? The birds! I love that the birds came with him. He got another bird. He's got 3 now. Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. Oh. I just thought of another theory of what I think is going on. I don't know if I should say it or not. Because Mo just said that he thinks that Acro did it, right? So what I think maybe happened is that Acro mistook the, oh, what's his name? The Ringmaster? Mistook the Ringmaster for the person he actually wanted to kill. Which, I don't know if that's Regina or Max or what. I think that's another part of it. Because he likes the Ringmaster. But now he's trying to pin it on somebody else. Maybe Max, I guess. Why do the bad guys keep having burbs? I know, right? What's with that? Edgeworth be like, I can't believe this evidence is inadmissible. My brother in Christ, you updated the autopsy report. Ace Attorney memes. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. I think Poppy wants to leave. You want to go? You want to leave? Okay. There she goes. Everyone say bye, Poppy. She doesn't want to hang out for the serious parts. Let's see where she goes. I think she's gonna go to her chair. Okay. Anyway, what I witnessed. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Okay, hold on. Just after 10 o'clock, huh? Let's check the timeline on that. So, yes, just after 10 o'clock, practice ended. There was a note that said to meet at the plaza. That was another aspect I almost forgot about. Okay, got it. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. That's what Mo heard as well. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. The birds are giving him little kisses. Oh, they are. They're so cute. I love the burps. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need to add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Would you say his timing isn't right? Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Ooh. Ooh. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Oh, brother. Leave me alone. What I witnessed.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Leave me alone. Okay, it was just after 10. I was resting in my bed. You said you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? Oh, little babe! Little babe! Oh. I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Sir? Curtains? Never heard of them. I don't want him to be the bad guy here because of all the birds. I don't want that to happen. Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Sometimes. Ow! The witness will proceed with his testimony. Okay. Around that time, I heard a large thump outside the window. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside? I was indeed. Pressing acro doesn't seem to get results. But maybe something was contradictory in what he said just now. There's something wrong, there's a contradiction. Oh, I wasn't paying enough attention for this one. Hold on, let me say... Okay, let me save. Yeah. And then... I know it's painful, but even bad guys love birds. I don't want to believe it. No, you can't make me. Oh. There she goes. I like to imagine that 3rd bird is just sitting in the gallery watching. Yeah, and then it just like flies over every now and then. Okay, I'm gonna say there's nothing wrong just for now. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. Okay, let me do that again and pay more attention. Okay. Your room is on the 3rd floor. You said that you were resting in bed, but you were still able to hear a sound from outside. I still don't really see a contradiction. I'm gonna go with nothing for now again, and we're gonna go press on everything else, and if I can't find anything to do, we'll come back to this. Yeah. Okay. A few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's the bust! Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as if we were there with you that night. I believe it was a human. Damn, I just strengthened his testimony. I wonder if Acro's statement jives with the facts. Again? So it says to focus on evidence. Do I have evidence of that bust? I don't think I do. Huh. So I don't even have the bust to bring up. Oh no, I do. Here we go. So I have a picture of it. Well, contradiction, let's say nothing for now again. Okay, are we gonna do that to everything? Okay, so I think what it's doing is I need to absolutely find the contradiction and then go through with that. but it's gonna offer it to me on almost every statement. It's like, is there a contradiction? Figure it out! It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Bust, you say? Yes, a statue. Oh my god. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? Oh, I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with his latest bit of testimony? I don't know yet! I don't know! That might have been it, though. That might be the one I want to react to. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. When did you start thinking that what you saw wasn't a dream? That's not important. Yeah, it is. I believe that the prosecution has done a bit of maintenance on the witness's memory. Just to make sure, let's ask the witness. Ow! Objection. Sustained. Don't sustain that. That girl must be lying about what he saw, right? Of course he is. Now the challenge will be to expose his lies in court. Put the pedal to the metal, Nick! I'm trying! Okay. So maybe we react to this one. Because he spoke differently about this one. He was like, what about the last bit of his testimony? The last part. Only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Yeah, I mean, like, you can't confirm, just like with Mo, you can't confirm it was that person if it's just the clothes. Anyone can wear the clothes. So let's press on this and then say that there's a contradiction. I don't 100% know what I'm supposed to say after that, but we'll see. I clearly saw the silk hat and the cloak. So he didn't see the white roses. There's a contradiction. Let's try it. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. Okay. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction? Okay, let's see. I'm thoroughly convinced this will be important, but I don't know if it's what I'm supposed to say now. There's the note. We have this picture. Basically, we're trying to contradict the fact that he thinks that he saw Max Galactica when it's just a bunch of symbols. Would I present the hat, maybe? I feel like I should present maybe the hat or the statue. But I don't know for sure. Oh, man. Because he said he was absolutely sure that he saw Max. But... when in doubt, present the badge. Oh, God. No, no, no. Love But has redeemed tiny rainbow cowboy hat. Can I get the cowboy hat sound, please? I can't wear it without the sound. Of course, thank you. There you go.
There you go!
You can't really see it. Okay, I'll have to do this. Oh, I don't know what to say specifically. And I have to say something. I did save. I think the hat is correct, thus tiny hat! Yeah, I'm leaning towards hat. I don't think it's time to show the statue yet. I'll try the hat. Is it? You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult, considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame, because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the Ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats? No. This is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Ooh? Order, order! As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? Okay, hold on. Save here. He's been fibbing on the sit. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? He has a grudge against Max. Acro was dreaming. Acro is the real culprit. Oh my god. Oh, I'm saving again. Oh no. What would cause this witness to lie? Was it a dream? Does he have a grudge against Max? I don't have any evidence for that. Acro's the real culprit. So, if we're going on evidence today, I think one of the things I could technically prove is that maybe he's the culprit. Even though I don't want that to be the truth. Because how can I prove it was a dream and how can I prove that he has a grudge? There's nothing I have that's a grudge against Max specifically. I'm gonna say Acro's the culprit, but I don't know if that's right. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. Ha ha ha. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. Yeah, the bird! The bird! The bird! Oh my goodness. It's like a hummingbird. Oh, what is it doing? Is it drinking the sweat? Or is it just pecking him? What's it doing? Bird? What are you doing, silly bird? He is staying rather calm and collected. It's totally pecking. It's just like, how dare you? Mr. Dingley, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things. I mean, hey, you might still be able to kill somebody. See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. She's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Oh my god! Phoenix is a poopy head! See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? I only lose one if I'm wrong. That's good. I think he did. It's impossible for Acro to be the murderer in this case. If that's the case, then it's natural for one to consider possible accomplices. You don't say. Not good, not good. This isn't going to end well. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? You must not have heard that sound just now. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. The sound of you falling into your own trap can be hard to notice sometimes. Mr. Wright, it seems as if you won't be stopping at Acro, but will be making other accusations. I am so scared. Oh. If Acro did not have an accomplice, things are not looking good for you. I understand, Your Honor. Gulp. Very well. Let's continue. Who, perchance, would happen to be Acro's accomplice? You want to know what I think? Regina. But I think she was an unwilling or naive accomplice. I think that he somehow got her to help him, but she didn't know what she was doing because she doesn't even know what it is to die. So she wouldn't have even known that she was like helping to kill someone. You know what I mean? That's where I'm going. I might be wrong though. I very well could be very, very wrong. But that's my first thought. So, I mean, who else? Who else? I don't know. I mean, it just... Because he gave the note to her. So that alone, I feel like, kind of shows something. Gumshoe, of course. It had to be Gumshoe. Okay, I'm gonna present Regina, just see what happens. You don't say! Okay, the music's still going, so I don't think so. Uh-oh. This is suddenly looking very, very bad. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? Oh, did you hear that? Hear what? The sound of you getting caught in your own trap. What a splendid accomplice. I'm sure this accusation is built on a solid foundation. Yes, Mr. Wright. Do you have any proof that this person you've accused was indeed an accomplice? It won't tell me until I finish out the whole accusation. Oh, this is hard. Oh no, I've already saved like 3 different saves too. If I have to start from the beginning? Ooh, okay. What about the note? That's what I thought of, it was this note. That's why I think she could have been the accomplice, was the note. But now I'm like, I don't know if that really makes sense. I don't know if I should have said Regina. But then who else? Who could have been the accomplice that... I mean, I guess Mo. I guess Mo. I don't know. What's the note say again? To the murderer, you haven't forgotten what happened 6 months ago, have you? I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Meet me at 10 p.m. tonight at the Lodging House Plaza. I feel like this is... I don't know. I'm gonna show the note. I don't know if that's it. I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna cry if I'm wrong and I have to do the whole thing again. Oh. Oh my god. Okay. I don't want to look. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I was wrong. Yeah. This piece of evidence is lacking in persuasive power. You didn't miss that sound, did you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You know, the sound of you receiving a penalty. Yeah, okay. But here's the thing. Is Regina the wrong choice? I don't know. It won't tell me. Ah! What are you doing, Nick? What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Okay. Here's the problem. I gotta get the accomplice part right. The fact that he even has one. I have to get the actual accomplice right, and then I have to prove it. Okay. So Regina could still be the accomplice, but the note wasn't the right evidence. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta figure this out. Okay. so now I know they're going to ask me, did he have an accomplice? Who was it? Prove it. So I gotta think about this for a minute. Give me some time. Shush, Von Karma, poopy head. You were gonna start saying poopy head now, huh? Okay, let's start from the top. I just had another idea. What if the accomplice was Money the monkey? Because Money helps Acro. What if he got the monkey? I mean, okay, so when they say accomplice, what are they actually meaning? Are they meaning the person who actually killed the Ringmaster? I guess is what they're meaning, and not anybody else involved, because Money was already involved by stealing the proposal ring and then taking it and distracting Ben and Trilo. Regina was kind of involved because she had the note put into her pocket and then put the note up on the board, and then the Ringmaster saw it. You know what I mean? Oh man. Oh, let's look at everything too. Okay, let's look at this again. So, let's think about our options here. All right, no. So our options for accomplice are, it can't be Max, because Max is who we're defending. So it could be Ben / Trilo. I don't know though. I don't think so. We have Regina. It still could be Regina. I haven't had that confirmed yet or denied. Could be Mo. Now, the only thing is that Money the Monkey is not in a profile. Money the Monkey is evidence. But I could still pick Money, right? Okay, so then we have Money. I don't know, I feel like it has to be a profile, but that would be interesting if it wasn't. What if it's us and we have amnesia? Stop. Okay. So my options are 4. Ben, Regina, Mo, and Money, the monkey. Let me think about what proof I could use for these characters. So, Regina, I thought of because... I guess I don't think it is Regina. My thinking at one point was, oh, she's mad because, the Ringmaster killed her pet lion. But unless she's pretending, which I don't think she is, she doesn't even know what dying is. So why would she be upset about this, right? So Regina didn't write this. Regina just had it placed into her pocket by Acro. So we have to assume that Acro wrote this, right? So murderer, that would be... I'm thinking in so many ways right now. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and cross off Regina. I don't think it's Regina anymore. But then I'm left like, ooh, you know, I don't think it's Ben. Honestly, I think it has to be Mo or the monkey. It's gotta be the clown or the monkey, okay? Okay, so Acro writes this to the murderer. You haven't forgotten what happened 6 months ago, have you? That would be the accident that put Bat into a coma. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Meet me at 10 tonight at the Lodging House Plaza. So this note was put into Regina's pocket by Acro. Regina puts it on the cafeteria board. Ringmaster sees it, tears it off, is pissed, and then he goes to meet the person who wrote this at 10. But I don't know, I don't think it was intended for the Ringmaster. It was intended to Regina, because Regina dared Bat to put his head into the lion's mouth, and then the accident happened. So he says murderer. Bat isn't dead, but with the way that he is, I believe that that's what he's referring to. Okay, so Acro note, I think, is to Regina, and then she's just so ignorant that she just puts the note up on the wall like, this can't be for me. I don't even know what murder is. So I think it's to Regina. So Regina can't be the accomplice. Acro gives the note to Regina, and then the Ringmaster protects and loves his daughter so much that he goes instead of Regina to meet this person. Like, how could you? How dare you? You know, say this to my daughter. That's, I think, what happened. So Ringmaster, I think Ringmaster was murdered on accident. I think Regina was the intended victim. Okay. Ringmaster was not the intended victim. Intended victim was supposed to be Regina, so Regina's not the accomplice. Okay, so that's the note figured out. And then Max is out of the equation. Max is not the killer. But it should be someone who doesn't like Max, right? I mean, nobody likes Max. That's the thing. The only one that likes Max is Regina. Now, Mo, if he was the accomplice, that'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Because Mo just straight up said, I think Acro did it. Acro's the murderer. But Acro is saying that he couldn't have killed. I mean, we're gonna be arguing that he had an accomplice. Because otherwise, you know, I wonder if I should say the monkey. Should I say the monkey? And then what proof do I have that it's the monkey though? Let's look at that. Let's work backwards. Okay. So if it's gonna be the monkey, well, how would the monkey help? I don't know about that. I don't think I have anything. The proof I have is the monkey. Like, the monkey is the proof. He offered money a crocanana. Yes. Monkey accomplice. I'm just so... I mean, it could be Mo, I guess. Maybe he's like throwing Acro under the bus. I don't know. This is too much, bro. I have 4 pages of notes and I can't figure it out. Oh man. Okay. I mean, I think what I can establish is that what we all should think, always return to monkey. That's how I think every day. Rishi's brain will be like, but what about the monkey though? He's not a profile. Like, I feel like it has to be someone in the profiles. Unless it's Bat, and Bat, I mean, is it in a coma? But I don't know. That would be a twist, wouldn't it? There's so many ways I could see this going that would still be a twist, you know? Okay, so Mo, I don't think Mo would want to kill Regina. Who would be willing to kill Regina? Because I think Regina was the intended victim. Who would be willing to kill her? It wouldn't be Ben / Trilo. At least not Trilo. Trilo loves Regina and would not allow Ben to do that, right? Mo, I don't see Mo wanting to kill Regina either. I don't think so. Always focus on what you can reasonably prove. That's what I'm trying to go with, you know? Like, I don't have any proof, I think, that Mo would be willing to do that. And it can't be Regina, because she was the intended victim, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we could also go with Acro doesn't have an accomplice. And did everything from the room, from the window. From the window. There was that giant box. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. If Acro doesn't have an accomplice, Acro could have gotten to the window. He is capable of doing that, right? He goes to the window and he drops this freaking, what was it, 20 pounds? He drops this 20-pound box. Okay. Acro doesn't have an accomplice. The proof is this box? I don't know. I have to think about how to prove it, but my idea is that Acro goes to the window. He intends to kill Regina. He throws this box through the window to hit the person on the head. He had blunt force trauma to the top of the head, right? To the back of the head. It has the pepper inside as a statement. A statement to the murderer, who was supposed to be Regina, as the revenge. The big revenge was, you're the reason why Bat is in the hospital. You're the reason why Bat essentially has died, right? That's what his accusation is. I think that's it. Now, whether he has an accomplice, technically, could be the monkey, but I don't think so. I think I'm gonna say he didn't have an accomplice, and then we'll have to work from there. Because I don't know what specific question they're gonna ask. I only know what they're gonna ask if I say he has an accomplice. I don't think he did now. I don't think he did. Because I'm going through the evidence and I'm like, I don't see anything for Ben, Mo, or the monkey. I think it was just all Acro. And he meant to kill Regina and then accidentally killed the Ringmaster. I think so. Alright, there we go. Oh. Alright, let's save over this one. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. I love how we just assume that Ben and Trilo are two people. Well, they really are. But who is Pepe Sylvia? I can't answer that one. That is a question that is out of my pay grade. Of course he didn't. Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. And see, the music stopped! Well, what? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. I got it, y'all. I know how it went, but I gotta prove it. Order! What the? What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. All right, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingling? In his bedroom. Of course! He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room? Pretty simple, huh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the Ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingling? It's an interesting theory. He just has a good poker face. That's it? Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it. No, it's not. No, it's not. Mr. Wright. Please, don't take the wind out of my sails. Yes, Your Honor? As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there's no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? Yeah, and then Acro pulled the bust up with a rope to frame Max. Duh. But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask you a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right. I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. Oh no. Emilio has redeemed. Lose the glasses for 5 minutes. I'm just gonna be squinting for 5 minutes. That's what that means. Okay. Five minutes. Go! All this reading too. Yeah, this game is all reading! It's all reading! I have to lean in to read chat now. I can actually read the text in the game pretty well. It's big enough. But chat? No. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the Ringmaster, and he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it. Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. Okay. Here we go. See, I can't read chat, but I can read the game. Okay. Present evidence. Can't present evidence now. Oh, interesting. How did Mr. Dingling commit the crime? Can't present evidence now? That's odd. Beyond Bishy's blind, we can now say slander. I don't think so. This case keeps throwing you curveballs. It's so frustrating because, like, I feel like now, especially, I know what happened, but I don't know how to prove it necessarily. I have a bunch of pieces and I don't know how to put them together. Get used to that? Ugh. I'm sorry, I feel like an old person when I'm like, what'd you say? Huh? What was that? Oh my god. Okay, at least I can play the game. Slander, Bishy's killing it at this game. They're doing great. Aw, thanks. Get off my lawn! Oh. Okay, well, if I present evidence, what would I say? What would I say? How did he commit the crime? Well, I have a bunch of pieces. I have the statue that he covered with the cape and the hat. I have the note that lured the Ringmaster under his window at a certain time. Maybe the note? Because it says committed the crime, So that's not the bust. It's not how he framed Max. It's how he killed someone. So that would be the box? It's the box or the note? I think it's the box or the note. I mean, they're not asking me for the murder weapon. They're asking me for how he committed the crime. How? So the note? Like luring him to the spot? Maybe? Oh, I don't know. Everyone talk in caps so Bishy can see better. I guess I can read it when it's in caps from this far away. That's kind of the flaw of the series. I know how it happens, now I have to get the game to tell that. Yeah, right? Is this better, Bishy? A little bit. I've taken my glasses off in solidarity, and yeah, this sucks. Thank you. Oh, my prescription is like -4 and -3.75 or something. So basically -4 in both eyes, give or take, like 0.25. So like not the worst ever, but it's pretty up there. I mean, I can't read chat, so you can do it. We believe in you. Thank you. Okay, I guess I'll say I can present. I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry? Oh, okay, they're gonna get specific. Okay, I'm gonna say this. No? I think you should try again, especially before someone gets the chance to say something. Yeah, you're probably right. So as I was saying, this piece of evidence... Stop! Stop! Wait, I say! Before you start over, you must be penalized. God damn it. Oh, he caught me. If you don't put an end to this funny business, I've got a few more ideas. Okay, so it doesn't let me go back before I said evidence. Which means I'm locked into this and I have to present evidence. I'm also wearing glasses because screw wearing contacts when I'm not going out. Yeah, right. I don't like to wear contacts all the time. I had a friend whose mom had like -6 in both eyes. Oh, I wouldn't even be able to read the screen then, the game, probably. I actually had, oh, there's my timer. There's my timer, I can see again. Yay. I legally can't drive without glasses or contacts. That's how bad it is. Whew. I actually had an eye exam today. Pretty nearsighted, but no change in prescription from last year. Oh, okay. I meet more people that are nearsighted than farsighted. I don't know what the statistics are on that, how many people are one or the other, but oh, they can't see me. I can see you now. But yeah, no worries, no worries. But thanks for the correction. I appreciate that. All right. What did he use to commit the crime of murder? Crime of murder. Oh, you know what? Okay, maybe I have it backwards. Maybe I have it backwards. Okay, new theory. He throws the chest out the window. The chest is already on the ground outside, right? And it's a statement. And maybe, well, I think it was locked. So anyway, the chest is already there. There's no blood on it. If he had used it to kill someone, there would have been blood on it, right? So the murder weapon is probably the bust, because the bust is still missing. So what he did was he has it on a rope, he throws the bust out the window, it hits him on the head, and then he pulls it back up, and it looks like the silhouette of Max. I guess so he could frame Max? For any witnesses? I mean, he really thought ahead. I guess. And then the chest is just there as a statement. The chest is not used as the murder weapon. I think that's what I got wrong there. Okay, I'm gonna present the bust. Oh, yeah? What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-sized, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Dang! Ah! Oh, now you're serious. There we go. Okay. See, I was close, but it took me a little bit of thinking. See, this is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. The birds are like, screw this. I'm out of here. The vibes are trash. Order, order. So you're saying the bust fell onto the Ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust. Yeah, you know? Mr. Dingley, how do you respond to these charges? The birds. Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. I'm gonna save here again. I'm getting lower on health here, but it's fine for now. Well, 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 Acro, you can't run away from— Ow! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? On Karma. She's just using this testimony as a rouse to stall for time. There is absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way once in a while? Oh. Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. Oh boy. The bird said, I ain't going down for this. Yeah, if Acro is found guilty and he goes to jail, do the birds go to jail? I hope not. Give them to a good home. I thought Bishi said Mr. Dingaling. Oh, I might have said Dingaling instead of Dingling on accident. That's possible. I tried making homemade bubble tea and it was kind of a failure, but that's not the fault of the drink itself. I just don't have a big enough straw. Oh no! Yeah, you need specific straws for boba tea, or you just gotta like spoon it into your mouth. Oh no. And you know what? That's a mistake I would make too. I would get all the ingredients for boba tea and then I would forget to get straws that fit. No worries. Just try it again later when you have the right straws, I guess. The bird share his cell. No! Okay. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. Ah, that woman will sink to any low to win a case. Acro's physical state. And you know, this case in general has so many issues, and I don't want to speak to this specific topic because I honestly don't think I would know enough to be able to speak on it. But I'm like side-eyeing it. I'm like, okay, what kind of language are you using? How are you describing, you know, and the fact that like she's throwing around the word disability and stuff, and I'm like, like I don't know how to feel about it. My instinct is to think that they didn't do a good job just because the rest of the case is so bad. But I really don't know. I am not sure. Okay, Acro's physical state. I tried making homemade bubble tea a while back, and I think I did something wrong for the tapioca because it was too hard. Oh no, maybe overcooked the boba? I don't know. Boba tea homemade I feel like is a pretty difficult task. We haven't tried it yet. We haven't tried it. But I'm sure that if you tried it a few times, you'd eventually get it right, you know? She doesn't do false evidence. She isn't Edgeworth level. Wow. Poor Edgeworth. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? No, because the note told him to meet you at the plaza, so you would know exactly where he is, under your window. I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony, and he probably had the pulley system already set up before the person arrived, you know? It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'll tell you in a moment after I save. I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. I can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. I mean, it's the note. The note is the evidence I need. But let's cross-examine everything. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of the bust. Have you ever lifted up the bust before? Well, have you? You ever lift just a badonkerers? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. I have. Oh my god. Speaking of Edgeworth, I don't think his spin-offs are ever getting ported anytime soon, but I still recommend playing them on your own time, at least if you can. Especially the second one, contender for my favorite game in the series. Oh wow. Yeah, I would love to play games that center around Edgeworth. I like his character. Big recommend on the Edgeworth spin-offs. Maybe I could even watch a playthrough of one, I guess? I could do that. That's a screenshot. Bishi? What? I've never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Money? That crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before? Oh. Would the monkey have dropped it for him? Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling. Huh. Okay, see, he's giving me an idea now. Maybe the monkey is still involved. Oh, warning, the second one never got released outside of Japan, so you would have to play the unofficial fan translation. Oh, interesting. Okay. Thank you for the heads up. Again, I wonder if I would just watch playthroughs of them. If they're too hard to find myself, you know? Or I don't want to get them, I don't know. I while to think about it, though. At the very least, I could watch a playthrough. Have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat. So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But, no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix, right?
I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke.
I mean, Nick! Whoa, whoa, whoa! How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. Okay. But lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window. Makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. So this, I think, is what I'm going to find the contradiction to with my note. I think so. But I'll press anyway. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there's no way I would know the location of the Ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you've got a point.
Hey, Nick?
Huh?
What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the Ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust.
That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow. Yeah, I have that. It's the note. That Acro knew the location of the Ringmaster's head without looking down. Yeah, they kind of hand it to you with that one, huh? Wish they were that nice all the time. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. It'd be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? Let's just press everything. If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all. If all I had to do was drop it. You're right, I could have done that. However, there's no way I could land a direct hit on the Ringmaster's head. So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright? Yo, you shut your mouth! Acro is strong enough to lift up the bust.
The main problem is how he could have aimed for the Ringmaster's head.
I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the Ringmaster.
That's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you got.
I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case.
I don't remember us finding any sort of tool, but maybe we overlooked something.
Nope,
I got it right here!
Makes it impossible. Okay, so, I'm gonna save one more time, just in case.
Slowpoke? Like the Pokemon?
Okay, let's do present the note. No? Okay. How are the evidence? What? Okay. I have to think about it again. Okay. Wasn't the note. Okay, maybe something more direct. I guess because this is too, like, outlandish. We do have the monkey, yeah. So, I guess what they were hinting at is that money, well, impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. So, I was thinking maybe the monkey was lifting the statue, so that's one. And then another could be the monkey told him when the Ringmaster was under the window by just, like, you know, making a noise or something. But I'm pretty sure this is the line I need to react to. It makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Just because of how Maya and Nick were talking, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna react to. I could say the monkey. I have thought about saying the monkey before. Yeah, because if it's not the note, then I'm kind of just left with that. Impossible to know he was under the window. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Okay, I can try money, I guess. That would have been my next idea. That's the worst when you're confident about it and the game says, no, stupid. Been there. I know the note's important, but I guess it's too soon for me to use it. Because my thinking was just, of course he's gonna know when he's there, but I guess he would have to even know that he's punctual, that he's actually there on time. So I guess the monkey would kind of be his alert. Okay, let's try that. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly, contradicts the, I thought, no, that's not it either. Okay, maybe it's the wrong sentence. Don't sound very sure. Okay, I'm getting scared now. Okay, we're gonna load, because I'm scared. Okay. That feels better. Now... lifting the bus and looking out the window would have been impossible. Let's present money here. No. They aren't, are they? That's weird. So... impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Okay, let's look again. Let's look at everything again. Does it have to do with the box? Maybe... like... if he runs into the box, he hears that and then knows that he's right under the window because he placed the box there ahead of time. Because my thinking is the box was already there on the ground. Especially because he just kind of slumps over onto the box. And they are saying, you know, was there some kind of tool that he used to know that he was there? So we could go by sound, right? And then he wouldn't need the monkey and he wouldn't need to be able to look out the window. I'll just try. Oh! Oh! Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? Oh my god, I got it. You already knew ahead of time where the Ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless. Mr. Phoenix Wright, enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. Same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the Ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box, which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the Ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Oh? Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it would miss the head of the victim. No. I think I had the right idea. I mean, order! This is unbelievable! Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ow! 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 The Ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The size, the weight, the contents. The weight, right? Punched over this 20-pound box. Boasts a small but strong lock. It's the weight. Has to be. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? Ah, that is correct. To lift up the box, you would have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Wow. Fool! That doesn't sound like a fool talking to me. That sounds like a smart person. Putting it all together. He's not fazed. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. Ooh. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust?
I forget. I don't remember.
It was in the cafeteria. You got your monkey to move the box and to get the statue for you. Come on. I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus from the cafeteria to my room? The monkey! You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. I mean, a monkey is an animal, so... Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bus from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all. All right, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room?
The monkey. It's gotta be.
A monkey? Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. Damn! My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Gah! Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It would be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. It was the monkey all along. Order, order! I said order! Miss Von Carva, where is the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. Okay, why are we doing hypotheticals? Why are we doing weird hypotheticals now? Let's say the monkey hadn't stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait! Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Makes sense to me. Anyways, so that would be interesting. He accidentally framed Max. I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! She keeps lying. Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Like a sponge! Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled. Flamboozled? Especially by this fraud of an attorney. I've heard of bamboozled. I haven't heard of flamboozled. What, like flambéed and bamboozled in one? Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. It's the statue, bro. It's the statue. Maybe they say it differently in Germany. Ah! There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. Why are you always lying? When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this, and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There are three? Three of those? Oh my god. Who was the murderer the clown saw? The bust. It was the bust! He saw Max's Ow! I asked, who was the other person Mo saw on the scene? That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Yes, it does. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. He's getting sassy now. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? I don't know, have you? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? Oh, he caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Oh my god. Phoenix has always been sassy, but only when he's winning, right? Could you imagine an actual courtroom where your attorney goes, it's obvious, is it? No, I guess it isn't. Let me look at the evidence again. I would be sweating. It's like that meme of like, this is my lawyer, y'all. I think I'm going to jail, and it's like a picture of Phoenix Wright. Okay. Who put the cloak on the bust? Acro? Let me think about this. Look at my lawyer, dog. I'm going to jail, yeah. Exactly. So let's look at all the stuff I've written down about the bust itself. Let me see. I mean, I don't see much. I think I barely wrote anything down, to be honest. I mean, okay, here, let's see. Okay, 5 days ago, bust disappeared. That's really all I have written down. So we didn't really get much talked about it. So it's not like there was a moment where they mentioned, oh, this person likes to dress up the bust for fun with the cape. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing like that. So I think it would just have to be Acro. Because, I mean, he's the one that doesn't want to be found guilty for murder, right? So why not frame the person that everybody in the circus hates anyway while you commit a murder? Let's say Acro. I wonder, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Didn't the defendant wear his cloak the entire time he was at practice? So then, how did this person get a hold of the cloak? Well, furthermore, how would this person have gotten the cloak onto the bust, I wonder? Because this person was not spotted at the scene. I'm sorry. That was wrong. Okay. When she's so nice about telling me I'm wrong, it hurts even more. Okay, let's load it. I don't want to risk failing. Okay. So, who put the cloak on the bust? Well, her questions almost helped me a little bit. So she's saying who was at the scene of the crime to put the cloak on the bust. All the build up for it to be wrong. I know, right? Well, that was really just me going through all my notes and then deciding I don't have anything to really help me here, so I'll say Acro. But it's not Acro, so... Okay. Who could have put it on there? Let's go through our people again, right? This is not an accomplice, but just someone that put it on there. Could have been someone that put it on the bus just for fun. So... So something that we've learned earlier is that the Ringmaster potentially was dressed up as Max at one point, right? So, is it possible? Well, this is so weird. So Max didn't put it on there. Max was in his outfit when he arrived to talk to the Ringmaster, and then he took it off. This one is stumping me. Oh, so many pieces. Okay. Let's look at the timeline again. So, timeline. Bus disappeared 5 days ago. Regina visits Acro and he puts the note in her pocket. She puts it in the cafeteria. Ringmaster sees it and rips it off the wall. At breakfast, Max and Ben fight over Regina. Now, 10 p.m. practice ends. Note says to meet at the plaza at this time. Galactica is called to Ringmaster's room because he hit Ben with the bottle earlier in the day. He asks to marry her and apparently says that's cool. 10:15, the murder occurs. There's a loud noise. Silhouette of cape and hat are seen by Mo. Blunt force trauma, snap vertebrae in a neck. Back of head. So between like 10:15, before 10:15, the cape had to have been put on. So we know that Galactica did go to the Ringmaster's room, so he might have passed the bust and then put it on there. Okay, hold on. Let me look at my stuff. You have no idea. Everybody was stumped by this part. Really? Huh. Okay, well, let's see if I can figure it out. It could have been Max? I'm gonna say the Max or the Ringmaster. I think one of the two, because those are the only two people that passed by. Could it have been Mo? But then Mo's an eyewitness, so that'd be kind of weird, right? And then why would Mo be wearing it? The only two people who were wearing the outfit were like the Ringmaster or Mo. I could believe it was Max. Oh yeah, Ringmaster or Max. Yeah. I feel like it's a very awkward answer, really. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 ba-da-bum. Could it have been Ben? No. Ben was like standing outside the whole time and then got distracted by the monkey. I mean, it's gonna be one of the circus people, right? But that's like 4 people, so it's kind of like... Okay, I'm leaning towards Max or Ringmaster. Let's say Max first and then Ringmaster. Let me see. I wonder... Didn't the defendant wear his cloak the entire time he was at practice? How did the person get a hold of the cloak? Maybe it was the Ringmaster. Because he took it off in the same room as the Ringmaster, and then the Ringmaster, like, took the outfit. Yeah, okay, so let me try this again. Let me say the Ringmaster, because that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I just want to try Max first. Okay, Ringmaster. Oh, okay. Fool! Him? You are saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's actually one of the first few that I thought of. But I was like, I wonder if it is him. Okay, I can see how that's an awkward answer though, yeah. I don't think it's the first thing you think of. You're just like, did Acro do it? I don't know. But that makes the most sense because we've been building up to he was wearing Max's outfit at one point. He was in the room with him and then left with it. Okay, that's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself! Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, I'm gonna save again, hold on. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Oh god. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached the rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the Ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the Ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Yeah, we established that. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trilo. Yeah, because they said goodnight to him and he didn't say anything. He didn't want them to recognize him. When the Ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Oh. So then it caught on the cape. Now this is when the magic happens. Oh, now this is, yeah. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim. Oh. Oh my god. But what about the hat? The hat was on the ground. You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? Oh, the hat! It's already wearing the hat. Right, sorry. I just noticed. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it already has the hat on. So there's 2 hats. There's the hat on the ground and there's the hat on the statue. All that it was missing was the cape. Okay. All right, never mind. The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. Man. And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. This is some bullshit. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. The birds are unfazed. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So? What now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. Oh, sweet God. That's the real reason why this case is hated. Oh, that? I hate it because of various reasons. I don't know about you. Yeah. This part is the one that everybody complains about the most. Oh my God. But there's so much more that's wrong with the case. Everything is wrong with it. This is just like the cherry on top. I'm just like, oh yeah, of course. Of course the cloak just floated magically up onto the statue. Okay. With everything else in mind, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, well, sure, whatever. Hey Lex, welcome. Howdy. This part is some of that peak patented Phoenix Wright BS. I didn't realize till just now the Ringmaster looks like half the size of Max. How the hell did he pass as Max? I mean, if you hate the guy, you don't even want to look at him. So they're just like, ew, Max? Ugh. Alright, I think I saved, right? Okay, you've graced it with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Yeah, sure. No one cares about you, Udgy. No one cares. Oh, heard it was your birthday a while ago, so happy belated B-Day, Lex. Was it, Lex? I'm so sorry if I missed it. Happy belated birthday, Lex. Happy birthday to you. Whip? I tell you what. I'll tell you what, Bobby. So convoluted and weird, and there's an unfunny clown, and yeah, underage bride thing somehow weirder than the clown. Yeah, just, it's a whole mess. This case is a whole mess. This is just the latest BS in this case. Belated. My attorney's badge should be evidence enough that I'm smart enough to figure this out. Power of my gavel. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? For what? Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. Oh, sorry, I just explained there's only one possible murder method. But there is still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account. Something unusual. What? Something unusual about Moe's testimony. Okay. Sure. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get out of this jam. That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. This whole case is unusual. Everything's unusual. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Something unusual about Moe's testimony. Well, let's look at Moe's testimony again. At least what I have written down from it. So, what we're saying right now is that the Ringmaster is wearing Max's clothes, walking around. You know what I'm confused about? Hold on, let me look at the map real quick. I think I'm just not thinking about the map properly. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I was thinking of this the wrong way. So, the Ringmaster goes to his room, meets up with Max, and then says, Max, BRB, I gotta go to do something real quick. What he's going to do is go meet the person who wrote that note. I'm surprised I haven't used the note yet. I haven't been able to use it. I think that's gonna be later, like, why did Acro do this, right? That would be the reason. So, he goes to the Ringmaster, he goes to his room, and then he leaves, he's wearing Max's outfit, he passes by Ben and Trilo, and then he goes to the window, he's murdered, bada bing, bada boom. That is when Mo's testimony happens. So Mo witnesses. I remember, just off the top of my head, Mo hears a noise, just like Acro said he heard a noise. And then he goes to the window, he sees the bust floating with the cape on it, and then sees it float up, being pulled up by Acro. He doesn't notice the hat that's left on the ground. Was that what the unusual thing was? He didn't see the hat? I'm literally looking at my notes right now. This would be a great time to go, you're out of order, I'm out of order, this whole damn court is out of order! Okay, where's Mo's testimony here? I have it written down somewhere. Something's still unclear to me. I'll hold in case it comes up. Wouldn't he have seen which window the bus got pulled into? Like... Okay, so apparently this murder occurred 30 feet away from Mo's window. Mo is on the first floor. Acro's on the third floor. Now, here's the thing. I have to show a piece of evidence, so we should probably just be filtering through that. Hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case, and it has to do with Mo's testimony. Okay. Let's think about this. So... let's do process of elimination. The hat. Could I say the hat? Hard proof that you've unraveled the trick. I mean... I don't know. Hard proof that you've unraveled the trick? I'm focusing more on the fact that it has to do with Mo right now. I don't know if that's a mistake. An enormous raise. Map of the circus. Monkey. The lion. Could I say the note? I still don't feel like it's time for the note though. I don't think that's it, but maybe? It just kind of comes out of left field right now. It's not like, what are the motivations? I feel like this is the motivation for the murder, right? It's the reason why it happened. It's not like hard proof that we figured it out. This is odd. What an odd wording. Let's see. The bronze statue taken from the cafeteria before the crime. I'm like, what the hell? Like, huh? Photo of Max's award ceremony. It's the pepper. Box. We've used the box. We used the monkey. Why would it be the hat? Like, really, why would it be the hat? I don't know if it's the hat. Something unusual about Mo's testimony. So not like a... Did he say a contradiction specifically, or just something weird? So, Mo... Here's the sound of the blunt force trauma. Here's the sound of the murder. Then goes to the window. The murder happened 30 feet from Mo. He only saw the body after the murder. He only saw the body and the silhouette after the murder happened. He only saw 2 out of 3 symbols when he should have saw 3. So, like, for instance, he saw the cloak and the hat, but not the roses. We know that that was a contradiction earlier, which I would present this, but that doesn't make sense. Mo saw Max fly up, saw a silhouette of a face. What? I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this case. What does that even mean? Like, I want proof that proves everything in one piece of evidence? Like that? To me, it's the note. To me, it's the note. I'm really not sure if it's the note. I'm gonna try it. If it's wrong, I'll load. I gotta try some stuff. Kind of like eliminate things. Yeah, probably not. Unbothered. Try again. Brutal! If they'd been silent for 2 more seconds, I would have screamed. The pain! The pain! It was worth it just to see the bird again. They say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there's still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. A contradiction. Okay, a contradiction, specifically. A contradiction in Mo's eyewitness account. Use that and get us out of here. Okay, so it's directly that. It has to be that. Wait. Load. I'm not going with 1 HP left. Okay. Do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? True. There's only one possible murder method, but there's something weird. There's a contradiction with Mo's account. Okay. Okay. Judge, you got the whole squad laughing. Not. Okay. Again. Contradiction in Mo's testimony. I mean, I have notes on his testimony, but it's not like verbatim everything he said. You know? I could think of one being, Mo said he saw the silhouette of the face, but technically it was facing away at the time. What would that even, how would I prove that with a piece of evidence? Do you need a hint? I'll wait a little bit longer. I'll let y'all know if I need a hint though, thank you. I probably will ask for one, but I'm trying to think a little bit more. Hard proof that you've unraveled the trick to the magic case. And it's not the note, it's not the note. We tried that, it's not the note. Unraveled the trick, and then Mo has a contradiction. I guess let's just go through everything. So, the trick to the case, could it be a person's profile? I don't think so. Hard proof that you've unraveled the trick. Contradiction with Mo's testimony. I wonder if I'm just gonna start saying random things that I'm like, maybe. Say like 3 different things. Did I not already prove I unraveled the trick through all of that, you know? Like, I need one piece of evidence that proves everything? So weird. Unravel the trick to the case. The way he's wording it is really throwing me. I'm like, what? Basically, we're trying to show Mo's contradiction. That's what Maya said to say, is the contradiction in Mo's testimony. I'm just like, I don't remember everything he said. The 3 symbols? I know that was something that came up. Let's try the things that I know came up during Mo's testimony, I guess. Yeah, that's not it. Oh, okay. The problem is Max's 3 symbols. Sorry, the music didn't turn off, so I automatically was like, oh, nope. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Okay, so I had to go for like what was brought up a lot. Yesterday, there were 2 contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday? Okay. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. Trying to show why Mo said it was Max. Right. Okay, because see, I was thinking about the hat, but I was like, it can't just be the hat. The hat doesn't... It needs to be more than the hat. So what I wanted to go for was the hat and the other symbol. So, okay, we're getting there now. All right, I didn't need a hint. Whew. Hey, AOL, welcome. Hey, Bishi, quick question. Is Poppy sitting in your lap? She could be. She's not right now, but she could be. Do you want to see her? Oh, AOL, we're back. Oh, okay, you don't want her to be in my lap. Okay. Well then, that works out. Save the dog. Can we get the worm bucket sound effect, please? We'll take a worm bucket break. I'm ready, Ruuuvo. Ready when you are. How is that? Wormies as a rest for this bullshit case. There we go. Ah, yes. Someday I would love to have so many magic worms I could fill an entire bathtub and just like lie in the worms. No water, just the worms. Let us redeem magic worms. That puts them on your head. I don't know why they look CGI. Yeah, these are CGI worms. They're not actually real. What is that? Oh, it's like a little piece of magic worm that fell like on my shirt. It looks like a Cheeto puff. Ah, just a little bit of magic. Sorry, I made the worms fall. They're shedding for summer. Magic worm poop! Oh no! A little magic worm pooped on me. Uh-oh. Alright. You can't see these when I switch back anyway, so I'm putting them back in here. They are everywhere, though. Okay, thank you for worms. Yes, of course. Thank you for redeeming them. And then making me run them over. Thank you for the lurk, Panda. Oh my goodness. Woo. I was AFK and just heard magic worm poop followed by raucous laughter. We have fun here, don't we? Bishi, what's your favorite color? Isn't it obvious? Isn't it obvious? It's this. My favorite color is the color of the wall, my hair, the chat button, I mean the chat, this button, my chair. Oh, I just heard Poppy. I could have guessed, but I wanted to make sure. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's everywhere. I made sure of that. All right, let's go back. I just heard Poppy though. Poppy! Poppy! Maybe she left.
Oh, it's Poppy.
Come here, up up. Up up. Oh, it's a dog! Oh, the worms.
It's a dog. Oh, her tail's wagging. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's little Miss Poppy. It's little Miss Poppy wagging her tail. Wagging her tail. Did you have a good nap? Did you have a good nap? Yeah.
Her tail's still wagging. Her sweater is perfect. I love this sweater. Okay, I'm sorry. I know we just got back, but I have to show y'all again. Look at her little sweater! Look at this animal I have in my house. So cute. Why are you holding a baked potato on stream? This isn't social eating.
Okay. Oh, just a little parcel. Oh my god.
Oh. Poppy. Excuse you. Excuse you. Did y'all hear her do that? She burped. I'm telling y'all, she is a gassy dog. She is a gassy dog. Look at that face. Not a care in the world. Not a single frickin' care. She's just like,
I do whatever I want.
probably gonna do ASMR streams. Just little dog burps and weird noises. She always makes weird noises. All dogs are gassy. Some are better at hiding it than others. Well, then she sucks at hiding it.
You stinky. You stinky.
I don't think y'all can hear any noises that she's making. Look. She's like, ah! She's getting sleepy in my arms. Oh my god. Alright. You can hang out with us, Poppy, but I'm trying to solve a murder case, okay? She's leaving. She probably wants to go eat or drink or maybe go outside. We'll see. Yeah, let me see. Let me test her. Let me see if she wants to go out. Outside? Wanna go outside? Outside? Yeah. Ruuuvo, can you let her out, please?
Thank you.
Okay. Sighs. I'm sorry. When she's gotta go, she's gotta go. Okay. He testified that the kid she just hold. She's a dog, bro. She's a dog. Can you just hold it? I don't think so. You shouldn't. That's how you get, you know, bad stuff happen. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's. I mean, yeah. Man, I thought we already established that. Painful bad stuff. Yeah, right? Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one. But what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Girl, please. Girl, I'm drowning. Remember what that ventriloquist said in court. He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. Okay. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. Clown said that there were no white roses. It was turned the other way. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course. I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Yeah, they were facing the other way. They were backwards. Or covered up, I guess. Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Yeah. Ah! Didn't even make me say that one. Like, that was too obvious for me to have to say. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. When Karma shush, we've been here so long already. Should be obvious, right? I'm about to spontaneously combust. I'm not even playing. This case, man. Order! Order! Did we do it? Oh. This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's see Poppy. Never mind. She's just in her blanket. Alright, well, Poppy's back. Thank you, Ruuuvo. Let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. Oh my god. They're both unfazed still. Well, so much for that theory. Yeah, I don't know about Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? Do you mind not accusing me of murder still? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. Oh, here we go, here we go. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the Ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. So now we establish the motive. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the Ringmaster. Like I keep saying, he wasn't trying to kill the Ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the Ringmaster and his life up until now.
What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the Ringmaster.
Acro's motive. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Okay, so you just get a little breather. Just a little break.
All right, to be continued right now. We're finishing this case today, y'all. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right, we'll save in the top spot now. I do love her shoulder pads, though. Yes, I actually do like Franziska. I do like Von Karma. It's just like in the game, it's like, God dang it. Just now realizing that Maya's eyes go above her hair. Anime physics, right? December 30, 2:17 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 5. I can't believe it. Acro? It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely is. And to think he was always the most straightforward of the group. Jeepus. Am I that hated? Ahem.
Acro tried to pin the murder on you on purpose.
He did? Psst. But I'm nothing but a little old nobody, you know?
But you're not, which is kind of the reason why...
Hey, pal! You're gonna ignore me after I went to all this trouble to bring you some evidence?
Ah, Detective Gumshoe!
Ah, forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways.
Now, Detective. I'm sorry. Look, why don't you relax a little?
We've got some really tasty milk.
How about a card trick, Detective? We're bribing him.
Well, if you insist.
Now, about that evidence you mentioned. What is it?
Here you go.
Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room.
Ah, right.
Yep, and I've included the forensics results. Take a look at it later.
Won't Miss Von Karma be mad that you're doing this?
That's why this is all a secret.
Huh?
Look, details are on a need-to-know basis, and we're not really allies or anything. But everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan.
I don't know. Miss Von Karma didn't seem in control of things in there just now.
You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans were set into motion.
Huh? Final plans?
Uh-huh. That reminds me. I've got a message from the prosecutor for you. Nothing is ever truly decided until the very end.
Oh, God.
That's it. And that's it for me too, pal. I'm out of here.
What?
What did he mean by that, the very end part?
I'm not sure. It was all pretty cryptic to me.
Oh, one more thing.
Ah! Don't scare me like that!
It looks like there's a large care package from the circus for the defendant.
What? For me?
It's milk.
What the hell is with all the milk?
The reception area looks like some kind of dairy, so hurry up and drink it all before it spoils.
An entire dairy's worth of milk? For me? Oh, well, because he's a country bumpkin, so he misses the farm? Okay, sorry, I forgot about that. December 30, 2:27 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 2.
Number 2.
88% love with Gumshoe, 87 with Phoenix. So close. So close and yet so far. Alright, court is now back in session. Miss Von Karma, please continue from where you left off. I'd like to continue with Acro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I'd also like to get proof from the defense. Proof of what kind of motive Acro would have to commit this crime. Understood. Now, Mr. Dingling. Yes, Your Honor. Please proceed with your testimony.
Finally, we get to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay?
Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Gulp. I mean, I know, but it's about proving it. Okay. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster of the very big circus, Russell Berry, took us in. I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. You're such a thoughtful young man. As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. I wonder how anyone could think that Acro would kill the man he held in such esteem. You are absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for a cross-examination, is there? Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would Acro kill the ringmaster? This might be my last chance to answer that question. Of course I'll cross-examine, but first I'm gonna save. The defense has a right to cross-examine the witness. You're so tactless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You don't care about justice, do you? You just want to fabricate a motive. Oh, it's not fabricated, sweetie. It's not fabricated. Very well, Mr. Wright. Cross-examine the witness. All right. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. So how did that make you feel? We? Yes, my brother Sean and I. What? You have a brother? How old were you when this happened, Acro? I was 8 years old and my brother was 4. Your parents were very cruel, weren't they? Nowadays, we aren't bitter about what happened to us, because it allowed us to meet the wonderful people at the very big circus. Nick, the judge is getting misty-eyed. He's got a soft spot for sob stories, it looks like. Ow! Sniffle, sniffle! No crying in court. Let's keep going. Sniffle. The witness may proceed with his testimony. That's when the ringmaster of the very big circus took us in. How would you describe your relationship with the ringmaster? He was like an uncle, a father, and a big brother all rolled up into one. The ringmaster and my brother were the only family I had. What about other people at the circus? This was over 15 years ago. Back then, there were very few customers coming in. So no one really had the time to look after us. They were worried about other things. But the ringmaster, he would always come see us with a laugh and a smile. What a beautiful story. That's why I was always thinking of what I could do to help. I wanted to thank him.
Nick, isn't Acro such a wonderful person?
I know. He seems like a nice guy, which is what makes this so difficult. Yeah. So then, how long have you been a performer? Around 9. You started off as an acrobat at that early of an age? I begged the ringmaster until he finally agreed to let me do it. Ever since then, I've been in incredible physical shape. That's also when I decided to form a group with my brother. We called ourselves the Flying Dingling Berries. It's nearly a household name. I've even heard of them in Germany. Liar. The point is that I wanted to be of some use to the circus. You are truly a remarkable young man. The judge keeps looking at Acro, almost like a proud father. Yeah, okay. We know how nice guys trademarked are, though, right? I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose. Did you ever have any trouble with the ringmaster? Ow! How could you ask such a thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have some sort of fundamental misunderstanding of this witness's testimony? Or the heartfelt emotions contained within? You better think about this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You better think hard. Ow! Ow, 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 ow! No matter how you look at it, there's no way I could see this witness ever taking the victim's life. Exactly. I've been waiting for you to say that, Your Honor.
Nick, I hate to say it, but I agree with them.
I was trying to chase down the truth, but I ended up just looking like a jerk. What? I think that will be enough for now. Pondering whether or not this man would kill the Ringmaster leads me to believe that it is pretty unlikely. Exactly right, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question. Go ahead, Your Honor. I would just like to know, can you provide an explanation as to why Acro would want the Ringmaster dead? Yes. Now that I've come this far, there's no way I could answer no, I can't. Oh, this is gonna be good. Very well then, please enlighten the court. Exactly. Let's see some evidence that proves Acro's motive for killing the Ringmaster. Now, here's the thing. That scarf stained with his blood and a small quantity of pepper. So herein lies the issue. I know the end result. At this point, I know what the case is going to turn out like. I know that he was trying to kill Regina and mistakenly killed the Ringmaster because he didn't look to see who was there. He assumed it would be her because he gave her this note. But she was too naive to think it was for her. So then the Ringmaster sees it, knows it's about Regina, and then thinks, no way, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna go talk to this person myself. So, the issue is, how do I get there? Let's see evidence that proves Acro's motive for killing the Ringmaster. So here, I don't know if it would be the note. I still don't know. I think that the note necessitates a very specific question of like, you know, I've already claimed that Regina was the intended victim, and they're like, how do you prove that? And then I give them the note, right? So I don't think it's time for that yet. What we do have that would be related to the motive itself, which is the murder or the, you know, accident with Bat, is this scarf and the lion. And then I suppose Bat's profile itself. I feel like Bat's profile is the most direct way of saying it, because it says he was bit on the head, still in a coma. This is the motive for the murder in general. So I'm gonna try that. Let me just go over this one more time. This is why Acro killed the Ringmaster? That is correct. I don't think the defense would mind confirming something for me. What exactly are we supposed to learn from this piece of evidence? What are you supposed to learn? So that's not quite it. Looks like you just won the award for biggest failure in court. Ouch, biggest failure in court. That stings. In recognition of your honor, let me bestow upon you my special prize. Now what will you do, Mr. Wright? Okay, so no. Doesn't mention Regina. I guess. I just feel like we haven't gotten to that yet. Like we haven't... it's not really quite there yet. Okay, let me think about it again. The motive for killing the Ringmaster. So yeah, like my end result is it was supposed to be Regina. And see, there's so many pieces. Like there's so many pieces to this that I would have to somehow connect Regina. Like this is connected, right? To her supposed to have been there. What is the bottle? This one? This is a bottle of pepper. It was in the chest that basically was the death marker for the intended victim. And the reason why this is significant is because on the day of the accident with Acro's brother, Bat, Regina dared him to put his head into Leon's mouth, the lion. And when he did this, Leon bit down. He had never hurt anybody before, but that day he bit down and he put Bat into a coma. So that's the motive is, you know, his brother being put in the hospital. And then my guessing on what happened is that somebody, either Regina as a prank or somebody else, put pepper on this scarf. It was given to Bat the day of the accident by Regina. So I'm guessing that she put the pepper on the scarf. As a way to get back at him, because he would always tease Regina with this pepper, making her sneeze. And yeah, I've already gotten to that conclusion that the pepper being on the scarf made the lion sneeze and bite down on Leon. This is all stuff that I've already, like, figured out. but I haven't had to do it in the game yet. You know, this is just all my guessing and stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But right now it's asking for evidence that proves Acro's motive for killing the Ringmaster specifically. So my first thought was, let's bring up the brother. The brother got into an accident, you know, whatever. That's not it. So maybe it's Regina herself just saying, Regina's the motive, because he didn't want to kill the Ringmaster, so there's no motive for the Ringmaster. The only motive we have is Regina. So if we're going from Ringmaster to blaming Regina, the only thing I could really say is her. Like, she's the motive. I guess. I could say that. No? No, it's not. Okay, okay. Like, I'm going in the right direction, but I don't know specifically what it wants from me, you know? Yeah, okay. So never mind. Sorry. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it's probably not a profile. It's not a profile. So what we have is the note, we have the scarf, we have the lion. Yeah, I don't know if it's the note yet. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about the note. I could try the note. I've tried the note many times before. It's the lion, it's the note, or it's the scarf, I'm pretty sure. But the scarf is very specific. The lion doesn't really... Like, it's kind of a jump. So we can try the note, but not quite sure if it's time for it yet, but we'll try it. No, it's not. Yeah. This is why Acro killed the Ringmaster? That is correct. Don't think they would mind confirming. Yeah, so that's wrong. Not the note. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. See, what I was saying earlier is like, this note is so specific, I feel like it's supposed to be later on. Like, they're gonna ask me, prove that Regina was the intended victim, and then I give them this. You know what I mean? But it wants a motive for killing the Ringmaster. So that's where I'm like kind of stuck, because like, he doesn't have a motive for the Ringmaster. His motive was Regina. Oh no, you're fine, you're fine. I mean, I probably would have tried the note anyway. It was one of my options. Motive. Okay, let's look at it again. So we have a crime picture, we have a hat, we have the salary, poster, broken bottle, the map, monkey, could be the lion. We have the autopsy, the box. Pepper? No, that's too specific again. The motive for killing the Ringmaster. Huh. And it's not like directly Regina's profile. Okay, let me try the lion? I don't know, I'm not really sure about any of these. Yeah. Yeah, it's not. Man. You know, it's weird because like, I don't usually like suss out the exact, oh, this is what happened in the case ahead of time. Usually it's like, I don't quite understand everything until it's over. But this is a different type of frustration where I basically know what happened, but I can't figure out how they want me to prove it. You know what I mean? It's a different experience, but still very frustrating. Proves Acro's motive for killing the Ringmaster. Is it a profile? I mean, I tried Bat, I tried Regina, it's neither of them. So... do I do the scarf at this point? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. So weird. Proves Acro's motive for killing the Ringmaster. Well, I'm kind of out of ideas at that point. I haven't done the pepper yet. My only thoughts were the note, the scarf, or the lion. I've tried all of those. See, it's such a general question that I feel like everything I have is too specific to like my later theories that would be probably proven later on. What if there is nothing to present because there wasn't motive for the Ringmaster? I mean, yeah, but like I can't back out of this. I'm pressing like back out and it won't let me. So I have to give them something. I have to say something. But yeah, I thought of that a second ago. Like, I don't think there's anything to show, but I have to. So there is something here. There is something. It's the hat again. It's gotta be the hat. Proves Acro's motive for killing the Ringmaster. Never played an Ace Attorney game, didn't know. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, and the later games and the later cases in the games get more and more complicated, so it's the badge, right? Oh, it's right because I said so and I'm a lawyer. Acro's motive. I mean, his motive was his brother, but I couldn't say his brother. His motive was accidentally killing him because he meant to kill the daughter. It wasn't the daughter. So I'm probably just thinking about this in the wrong way. Evidence that proves Acro's motive. Oh, okay, maybe it is the pepper because what's conclusive is that we found this pepper in the box. We found the pepper in the box under where the guy was killed, and that was on purpose. So let me try the pepper. No? I don't know if I actually said that earlier already. Yeah, so that's not it either. Damn, I was like, oh, gotcha moment, no. Oh my god. Okay. I'm basically gonna just try everything. We're just gonna try everything. The box, how about the box that had the pepper in it? No? Oh my god! Oh my god! This is suffering. This is suffering. Like, I know the answer, but I don't, you know? So bad. Oh my god. Money! No. I didn't think so, but... Oh my god. It's gotta be something, man. It's gotta be something. Is this hell? Yeah, I think so. Hell is gonna be knowing the answer to Ace Attorney, but not knowing how to answer. Just for eternity. Map, the monkey, Leon. Leon! It's not Leon. It's not the pepper. It's not the box. It's not the note. It's not the scarf. It's not Bat. It's not Regina. The Ringmaster himself! You know, like, what? Okay. If any of y'all know the answer to this specific question, you know, what evidence to show, is it a profile or is it an evidence? Just tell me that, and that would help me. This is specifically the 9th circle of hell. Yeah, right? Oh, God. An eternal Ace Attorney case. Oh, nightmare. A nightmare. Maybe you just have to go farther back and say you don't have evidence? I don't know if I have a save for that. That would make sense, but then it's kind of like, do I have to just take the penalty? I think when I take the penalty, I'm just stuck at this point again? Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, but then I'm gonna lose 2 health. Just spitballing. No, yeah, you have a point. Sometimes Ace Attorney does that. Sometimes they do that. Okay, let's say something random just to test it. Let's test that theory. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. So what do they do after this, right? What are you supposed to learn? You won the biggest failure. There's that. And then what happens? Prove something. Drats. Now I'm really gonna have to think about that. Okay, so they do bring you back here. Okay, yeah. Y'all have a point. I would have landed on this eventually, but yeah, so give up presenting things. The only thing is I have like 1 HP now, so you have to back out. Yeah, okay, thank you. And I did think about that, like, I don't think there's evidence that proves this because there's no motive for the Ringmaster. The game does this sometimes. Like, it'll give you the opportunity to present evidence and then you're like, okay, what is it? What is it? I can't think of anything. It turns out it's nothing. You have to go back and just like redo that part. Okay, give up presenting. Nick? Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Oh, shut up! Shut up! Your Honor, the reason that Acro killed the Ringmaster is something that can't be proven. And like, I knew that! I knew that, but I was just like, I'm stuck here. I have to say something. But then I forgot that we had the option of not saying anything. Yeah, I know, it's tricked me so many times before. Usually when I get stuck, it's tricking me or I've just forgotten something from the past, you know? What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill the Ringmaster at all, which I knew. Ow! Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fools is so foolhardily foolish. Did you forget? You made an accusation against this witness, did you not? I believe it was, this is the real killer of Russell Berry, Ringmaster? If you want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right. The end of things? Acro. You didn't plan to kill the Ringmaster at all, did you? Ooh. We're gonna save all the way down here. This save is from the first game, man. The Ringmaster wasn't your target that night. See, it's like, I knew that, but, What did you just say? I'm saying that the target of this witness's murderous plot was not the Ringmaster. Because it was never his intention to kill Russell Berry to begin with. What? See, I'm smart. This game hates me. Order, order! Bailiff, I don't care who it is. Smack anyone who's loud in the face. Twice if you must. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do in my court? Ow! Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to his court? Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? See, I have no health left. I have no health. Even with all my loading, I've still landed here. So now I show Regina? I think so. Regina Berry? This young girl is the Ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro, you were really aiming for her that night, weren't you? Oh my god. Okay. You don't need to answer that. It's a mean-spirited leading question. He could easily answer this question. If I'm wrong, all he has to say is, you're wrong. That's it. That's it, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Yeah, that's simple. Enough. Mr. Wright, allow me to... Ow! The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself. Aw? And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me evidence, now! I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry. Okay, okay. Hear me out. There's like 3 different things I could show you right now. Yes, me too. I demand to see some proof. Present evidence that proves Acro was out to kill this young girl. Now here's the question. I still don't think it's the note. Because it doesn't say Regina. It's not connected to Regina. It has to be directly connected to Regina. So, I don't think it's the scarf. Proves Acro was out to kill this young girl. The pepper. Now, Leon was Regina's pet. So that is a connection to her, and it's a connection to what could have made, well, proves Acro was out to kill this. Okay, okay. Here's the thing. I think it could be the lion, but again, I feel like I'm jumping too far ahead of myself. I think now I need to talk about that. Because now we're saying, what's the motive for killing Regina? Bat. All right, Mr. Wright. At this point, the only thing that's important is evidence. This better not be a bluff. You're not going to... Ow! You're not going to fool me, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Those two are finishing each other's sentences now. That wasn't it. Okay. Ah! Okay, so maybe it was the lion. Blah, 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 da, da, blah, 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 yeah. So the only thing is now, when I get something wrong, we have to watch this whole sequence over and over. Give me help, pending trial, blah, 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 that is all. Well, that was a good game. Jesus. Poor Max. Weird ending though. Good night, everybody. No! No! Okay. Alright, I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry. So, alright, it's not Bat. It's not a profile, probably. So maybe now it's time for the lion. That's my next guess. We're just gonna go for the lion. If it's not that, I'm gonna think more. But yeah, sorry, we're gonna have to watch that sequence if I get it wrong. Okay, let's say Leon. No. Okay, well now I can just do that. Okay, I know what the phrasing is gonna be when I get it wrong, so that way we don't have to waste time. Okay, it's not Leon, it's not Bat. Evidence that proves Acro was out to kill this young girl. Oh, I guess now, maybe the note. Let's try it. Oh, yep, okay. Now it was time for the note. There we go. See, I got hung up on like, it doesn't mention Regina, so, but we know as a fact that he put it into her pocket, so it was intended for her. Okay, my bad. Acro, you remember this, don't you? It's a piece of paper that we found inside the Ringmaster's tailcoat. Inside the victim's tailcoat? Acro wrote this note. It's ironically entitled, "To the Murderer." Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 p.m. The note is really the only thing that directly links them. I guess so, yeah. So you're saying that he called Russell Berry with that note? Yes, but there's just one little problem. Problem? Acro did indeed place this note into someone's pocket. However, that someone was not the Ringmaster. You mean, it wasn't for the... That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry! It's so frustrating knowing the answer but not knowing how to say it. Order! Mr. Wright, that little theory of yours. It's the truth, Your Honor. It isn't a theory. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her, which is why, the morning of the crime, she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board. That's when her father, the Ringmaster, saw the note? That's correct. The Ringmaster ended up in that plaza instead of Regina. Oh man, and he was killed because of that mistake, instead of Regina. That's incredible! Remember the testimony that Acro gave us earlier today. Lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. So then he put himself in a corner because he didn't see who was down there, so he could have killed someone else on accident. If I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. Acro had no idea who it was that arrived in the plaza, because he couldn't look down out of his window to see who it actually was. I've got it! Acro thought it was Regina down in the plaza, and that's when he let the bust fly. The bust fly, huh? Hey, Nick, isn't Regina listening to all of this from the audience? She is. Unfortunately, it's only going to get harsher from here. I hope Regina can handle it. Oh man. Acro wrote this note to Regina. Foolishly foolish fool with foolishly foolish fool ideas of foolish tomfoolery. You're so foolish. You've even made me sound like a foolhardy fool. Hold on, I'm gonna save again now that we know I did the right thing. Very well, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If you're so sure, then tell us about this line. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. That's probably the scarf. Yes? What about that line? Well, if the note was meant for Regina Berry, it would mean that this note is declaring that Regina Berry is a murderer. You just don't get it, do you? What? What did you just say? The Ringmaster knew what the note meant, which is why he went to the plaza, in place of his lovely daughter. Yeah, he went to protect her. We need a full count, I know, right? Oh, hold it right there, Mr. Wright. What is this incident that is alluded to in the note? The incident 6 months ago. I know all about it. An incident occurred 6 months ago, and now I am more than ready to show this court what happened at that time. Yeah. I'm just not sure exactly what. Maybe the lion? Moron. Wait, are you sure that it relates to the present case? It does indeed, Your Honor. Everything in this case has its start in what happened 6 months ago. Really, Nick? I think so. Well then, if that's the case, hurry up and tell us about it. What is this conclusive evidence mentioned in the note? Conclusive evidence. I know I'd certainly like to know what it is. If I can't answer that question, the judge is going to think I'm bluffing. The conclusive evidence about the incident 6 months ago is actually... Oh, maybe it's the scarf? Conclusive evidence. I think it's the scarf. Hey, Anna, welcome. Howdy. Is that a wild Anna? Howdy, howdy. Welcome in. Good to see you. Can I get a shout out for Anna, please? Can I get a little shout out, pretty please? Y'all should be following Anna. You really should. Okay. Also, welcome in. I'm in the middle of like a really complicated, convoluted, freaking dumb case trying to solve. Oh, ooh, Resi 2, Resi 2. That was the remake, right? That you were playing? I had fun with that. I played I think it was Leon A and Claire B. I don't know if you've done a second playthrough yet. Okay, let's try the scarf. I think it's the scarf. What? This is it? It's not, it's not, it's not, it's not! Abandoned ship! Abandoned ship! Okay, again, probably too specific. So probably the lion. I think we need to talk about the lion. We need to start general, get specific later. Conclusive evidence. Okay, it's the conclusive evidence mentioned in the note. All right, hold on. Let's read the note again. Let's just make sure. Haven't forgotten what happened 6 months ago. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Okay. I need to show whatever Acro was going to show. So the pepper. I mean, the pepper was in the chest, so now I think it's time for the pepper. And then we work from there. I barely remember this case from when I played it originally. It's a ridiculous case. It's so ridiculous. And it's so, like, problematic. Like, there's so many things about it that are just awful. Like, this is so, like, out of left field compared to the other cases, you know? Apparently the one after this is really good. Many people have said it's the best in the series, so I'm excited for that. I'm trying to finish this one today. We're super close to the end here. So I'm definitely finishing it tonight. Let's say the pepper. Okay, it was the pepper this time. Achoo! 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 What kind of spicy joke is this? Mr. Phoenix, right? Spicy? It isn't a joke at all. It's the decisive evidence you asked for. This is the third one. This is the second game, third case. So Justice for All is the second installment in the Ace Attorney series, and right now I am in the third case of Justice for All. Fan favorite for sure. Wouldn't say it's the absolute best. Okay, so it's a fan favorite. The next one is a fan favorite. All right, sorry. I just finished up Ace Attorney Chronicles, and it's so good. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm planning on playing that when I'm done with this main trilogy first. So I'm in the middle of Justice for All, and then I have to play the third game in the trilogy, and then I can play the Chronicles after that, which I think is 2 games. So yeah, plenty more Ace Attorney to do. But yeah, I really like this series. This case definitely isn't my favorite so far. Probably will be my most hated one, along with many other people, for many reasons. But I still love the series overall. Yeah, this is just kind of like a little dip. A little dip in the road. What do you mean? Recall that the victim was trying to take the wooden box away with him. He was doing so because this piece of decisive evidence is what was inside. Oh. Okay, see, I thought it was just like a statement piece. Like, look at what you did. I know what you did. This is the pepper that led to his death. You know what I mean? But it was actually like, here's the evidence. Haha, got you, now you're dead. It was like a bait. Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright. So what exactly are you saying? Well, let me save and then I'll tell you. Are you claiming Regina Berry killed someone with a small bottle of pepper? Taking the note into account, that's the only logical conclusion you can draw. Foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this question. Who was Regina Berry's intended victim? Oh, that one's easy. It was Bat. Finally, an easy question to answer. Who is this? That is Acro's younger brother. What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead. Technically, that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acro could feel that his brother is dead. Yeah, exactly. He's not dead, but the brother probably feels that way. Gina, she did that to him? Do you spend your entire life dreaming up new ways to be a fool? Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acro's brother, Sean Dingling. 6 months ago, he was bit by a lion and fell into his current comatose state.
A lion?
Miss Regina Barry, is an animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Miss Regina could never do something like that. It's just not in her. Well, it was probably an accident. Both of these deaths were accidents.
So then, what happened to Acro's brother?
He's not the victim of an attempted murder. He's the victim of an accident.
I see.
Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with your theory. Do you think what happened to Bat was actually an accident? It was more than an accident. It was an accident, but it was more than that. It would be like an unintended murder, but she did lead to his death. As a fan of the entire series, I think Ace Attorney Chronicles are my favorites. They're just so good. Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait. And it's like all new graphics, I think, as well. I don't know. It looks really nice. Like, this looks nice, but the Chronicles look even better. The lion biting Bat was no accident at all.
What?
You're such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There's no way that Regina would ever incite her lion to attack another human being. She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being, but Regina is responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother, Bat. Okay, now, here, I think it's time for the scarf. That's just a scarf. Acro. This scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. And who is the one that gave this scarf to Bat?
Regina. Regina gave it to him.
Regina? There is something more than just blood on this scarf, Your Honor.
And what might that be?
Pepper.
Pepper?
Pepper. Regina gave this scarf to Bat right before the accident, and she covered it with as much pepper as she could. Hey, what's with the silent treatment? I love that when he makes his face, the bird is pecking him. This is my favorite part of the case. This is the only good thing about it. I would agree. I hope they do more. Yeah, I actually have heard that there's rumors, so there may be no truth to this, that they might bring some of the other Ace Attorney games to modern consoles, like basically do ports or something. I really hope that's true. I don't know if it is, and I don't mean to be like a rumor spreader or anything. It's just kind of like something you hear being in the gaming sphere, but like, yeah, even if it's, you know, just someone randomly saying something out into the universe, I hope that it's true. I hope that we do get ports for the other Ace Attorney games so I can play even more of them, because I don't know how likely I am to like go through the effort of playing the other games, because they can be kind of hard to get a hold of or awkward to play. Especially, I would love to stream them, and if they're just on mobile or on a 3DS, for example, can't really do that. Will it, Bishy? Will it into existence? Yes, please.
Excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of...
I hate this case. I know what he means, but I don't like that he said it like that. You've done a good job of fingering a criminal.
But out of curiosity, what was her crime?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Miss Barry gave a pepper-covered scarf to Bat as a present. Where's the crime in that?
Well, you see, Your Honor, everything.
It still seems like the judge just doesn't get it. Of course he doesn't get it. He's edgy. Mr. Phoenix, right. Wasn't it said that the lion seemed to be smiling? Ooh. Smiling? The lion was smiling? Right before Bat was bit by the lion, for a moment, the lion's mouth changed and it looked like he was smiling. Lions smile? I've never heard of them smiling. However, lions sneeze. Leon wasn't trying to bite Bat at all. Poor lion. And then he was killed for this, and he didn't even mean to. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. Man. Poor thing. He sneezed because of all the pepper on the scarf. What? You fool! It's like, it was an accident, but not an accident? You've got to be kidding me! That's what I'm thinking about this entire frickin' trial, man. You say objection and then nothing. What's the matter, Miss Von Karma? I object for objection's sake. Mr. Phoenix, right, this theory, you believe it? You really intend to say that this is how this joke of an accident actually happened? Of course I do. It's the truth. The lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when Bat lost consciousness. Acro nearly lost his brother due to this accident, or this joke, as you put it. A little insensitive there, aren't you? Oh, thank you for the clip. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina. You foolish idiot! Huh. It almost does seem like a terrible joke, doesn't it? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. Oh? To think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me that what I said was true? Acro? You don't mean... You can't mean... Witness? Are you confirming the defense's claim? Mr. Wright, unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty for murder. Oh my god. He's not going down without a fight, is he? No. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. What would that problem be? The same problem it's always been, evidence. If I drop Max's bust on top of the Ringmaster, where is the evidence that proves that claim? You mean the conclusive evidence? The biggest problem is the murder weapon, or the lack thereof to be more precise. The murder weapon. The bust that the defense claims was used. If that were to be found in Acro's room, and if it was covered with the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. Yes, it would be. Okay. Are we gonna have another investigation? The bust. Nick, you've gotta do something. This is the last step. If I get this one right, the case is won. Well, obviously we have to search the room. See how things work out? No, search the room. The defense requests to search the room of the witness Ken Dingling. What is it now? Was that the wrong answer? It looks like you still haven't figured things out, have you? By now, you must know the meaning of Von Karma total justice. You mean... Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acro's room yesterday. I mean, yes, but you could have missed something. What did you find? There's no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Acro would not be here as a witness. But to put a point on it, Max's bust was not in the room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for. You see, Mr. Wright, the bust wasn't in my room. Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed the search by complete surprise. And we took Acro directly to the prosecutor's office after that. So he couldn't have concealed it. End of story. I mean, couldn't he have gotten rid of it after he committed the murder and before they searched the room? I mean, that's obvious. Something's funny about all this. Ha ha ha. It looks like you lack the final nail to put into my coffin. But, what about the scarf? What about the note? What about them, Mr. Wright? No offense, but the only evidence that is relevant here is that which pertains to the death of the Ringmaster. You should know that by now. Ugh.
Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. The bust. Where is it now?
You know what I think? I think Acro still has it. Where's the bust right now? I think he has it. On him, right now.
You're Phoenix Wright. You know where that bust is. I'm sure you do.
There's not even a single clue. How am I supposed to know where the bust is? I mean, if it's nowhere, you know, I don't think they probably searched him thoroughly, right? It seems this case is coming to a close. The defense's counter-arguments look to have fallen short. Oh.
Thank you for your support. Ack!
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I think that brings to an end the cross-examination of this witness. Is this supposed to happen? Ah, hold it! I was gonna say.
Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I just bit my tongue.
Huh? What? We need time to do what? We need- Ow! Why are you the most surprised person here? She's your aide, isn't she? Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright? What? Are you asking me?
The rest is up to you, Nick. Good luck.
Hey, wait, you can't be serious.
Acrobats always have their lives on the line, don't they? That's how Acro's lived his life up until now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope. If we don't, we're certain to lose.
Very well, the defense may proceed. Oh my god.
Well, thanks, Maya!
Here's when we pop the $1 million question. What the hell was happening in the writing room during this? I know! Edgeworth spinoffs are on the normal DS. See, that's even worse. Mine doesn't even work anymore. I mean, don't DS games work on 3DS? Aren't they backwards compatible? Yeah, they are. I've played them on there. So, that's not actually too much of a problem. But, I don't have the games, you know? So, the queen of putting people on the spot! He doesn't have a clue, and I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walking the tightrope of logic, there's no room for a false step. Sink or swim. The only way through is forward. The murder weapon. Where is Max's bust now? Somewhere in the courtroom, I'm telling y'all! Okay, let's save it, let's save it. I swear to God, it's the only thing that makes sense. It's obvious. The bust is inside this very courtroom. It's obviously where? Allow me to pinpoint the location of the bust once and for all. The judge, the prosecutor, the witness stand. Acro, I'm sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off of your wheelchair? Yeah, he had a blanket. I thought I remembered a blanket. Oh, man. I'm sorry. I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you are a big guy, and you have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. I just wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket, because it seems to me that it would be really easy to say, hide a bust under there. Once again, your penchant for humor hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. I think it's pretty amazing that you can laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that the bust is under there. We all know that you can't leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Miss Von Karma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found the murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over, which is why you had to hide it, and the only place that you could hide it, under your wheelchair. Which is why, Acro, I have to ask you again. Would you please remove the blanket from your lap? Well done, Mr. Wright. Masterfully played. I'm getting slight goosebumps. You fool! How could you? Can I have your birds though? Can I take them? You've got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, 2 of them. 2 of them? Mr. Francisco von Karma and Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? There's just one thing I'd like to know. How did you know to launch the surprise search on my room last night? There were 2 pieces of decisive evidence, the cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away with the trash. Regina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust, obviously, I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. And the only place that I could hide it quickly was under this wheelchair. Miss Von Karma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. And now to be caught in the middle of court, hiding the murder weapon. There's no way I can escape that. So you've got me. Well done, Mr. Wright. Well done, Miss Von Karma. It all makes sense now. I can't believe that Von Karma thought that far ahead. It's amazing. Uh-huh. You definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. What? I know I sure couldn't. I can't believe it. Me! Make a mistake! Why did I order a surprise search of your room? If only I hadn't done that. Oh my god. So you wanted a murderer to go free, man? It seems we've finally arrived at the truth. Acro? Yes, Your Honor. Did you kill the ringmaster of the Berry Big Circus, Mr. Russell Berry? Yes, Your Honor. I'm responsible for that crime. Acro. This is just sad. All my brother wanted was for Regina to like him. That's why he'd tease her. One day my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard, you couldn't help yourself from laughing. That's why Regina thought it would be funny to get him back in the same way. And that's why she covered the scarf with pepper. I know she didn't mean for anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times too. But I just couldn't forgive her, no matter what. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never, ever being able to understand her. Your brother became a star. Regina believes in that so purely, that she would laugh innocently when saying it. Too innocently. I just couldn't stand it, no matter how hard I tried. That's when you decided to do something about Regina. How dreadful. So are you saying that you are a victim in all of this as well? No, that's not what I mean. Oh. I'm nothing but a murderer. That's who I am. Man, what the hell? I'm crying now. At first, I thought I'd kill myself. Oh my god. Then I pondered giving myself up. But I couldn't just up and leave. I just couldn't. Not yet. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm so sorry. Man, I just couldn't up and leave yet. Why is this case like this? Everything about it just makes me suffer. Either I'm frustrated, or I'm appalled, or I'm angry, or I'm sad. How are they gonna put something like that in a case like this? I know, I hate this case, but that's so heart-wrenching. Oh. Ekro's such an interesting character, and he's stuck with these literal clowns. This whole thing was an easily avoidable tragedy for everyone involved. Yeah, that's what's so terrible. Like, Regina didn't even mean to kill someone. It was an accident. She did lead to his death, but she didn't mean to kill him. And then he meant to kill her, and actually ended up killing his father figure instead. And then he's like, well, I hate myself now, but I don't want to die yet, so I guess I'll just pin it on somebody else, you know? And he didn't even hate Max that much, so that's why I was kind of struggling at one point, like, why would he frame him? But it's just the easiest thing that he could do, you know? So, oh, goodness gracious. This has been such a strange case. Yeah, you could say that again. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself. I'm an idiot. I can't believe it. You beat me again. I believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict. Not guilty. Can't believe the case with Mo the Clown made me tear up. I know! Yeah, this one made me emotional there. I mean, it made me emotional because, like, the actual murderer is just so sad. I mean, you know, the thing is, he did try to kill a young girl, who didn't intend to kill someone, you know what I mean? And really, what's sad is, like, I feel that he ended up killing the person that kind of led to this even happening, which was the Ringmaster, because he sheltered his daughter so much, she didn't even know what dying meant. So when she's like, oh, he's a star now, he was like, and she's so innocent about it and doesn't care, la 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 la, and that offended Acro, you know? He's not even dead. And that's the thing too, like, he's in a coma, but he's not dead. He's still alive. But, I mean, I get, you know, the thinking that he has, right? I mean, he can't talk to his brother anymore. He can't make memories with him. He's in a coma. So, like, I don't know, and that's kind of a complicated conversation as well. Like, just because someone's in a coma, they're not dead. They're still there. And people have woken up from comas. It's only been 6 months. He could wake up in a year or a few years. You know what I mean? There's even evidence that people who are in comas can sense things going on around them, depending on the severity of why they're in a coma, depending on how much brain activity is happening. Anyway, so yeah, it's like so complicated because of that too. Like, he just considers him dead when he's not. He's not. But yeah, it's just a whole mess. Just a whole mess. This court is adjourned. Whew, God. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over. And how many notes did it take? Let's see. Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pages of a little notepad I have. It did help though. It did help. I think I'll do that from now on, just because the cases are getting more and more complicated. I'm gonna forget things every week, you know, so. Okay. December 30, 4:27 p.m. District Court. Fabulous! But to be honest, I can't really be too happy about this. Acro, the Ringmaster, Regina, and Bat. Not a single one of them was a bad person inside, huh? That's a good question, and one I don't know the answer to.
Many congrats, but only at max 1 million of them.
Thank you.
What's with the vibe in this room?
We're just thinking about Acro.
No, 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 no. If you worry about people too much, you'll never be like this forever and never be happy.
Oh, then you'll be like this forever, sorry. Huh?
Wow!
Oh my god!
She's been like this for a while now.
Wow! It's all my fault! Wow!
Oh god. She's gonna need therapy. Sweetie pie.
Bat and Acro, they're never coming back! Now everyone's gonna split up!
Regina.
Mr. Wright, tell me something.
What do you want to know, Regina?
Acro said something right at the end.
I just couldn't up and leave yet.
Does that mean that Acro... is he gonna try and get his revenge on me?
Of course he is! I mean, he already did try to get his revenge. I don't know, I guess I'll say... I don't think so. He's not gonna do that to you, Regina.
Are you sure? You're really sure? I can believe that?
Yep. Acro doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore.
That's true. Then I want to see some evidence.
Huh?
I want to know you're not just making up that stuff about Acro not wanting revenge.
Oh my god. What do you mean? What? This is the most difficult question so far. I hate when they do this. I hate when it's like the courtroom's over and I still gotta do something else. Yeah, they always do this. They always do this. Ah. I'll think about it in a minute. Ugh. My brain already turned off, okay? Like, it's done. Oh. Let's see. He doesn't expect forgiveness for it too, which is very important. Yeah. Just one big old tragedy. Yeah, this whole thing is a tragedy. Some connection to lost judgment. People not communicating their emotions, right? That's just your Ace Attorney notebook now. Yeah, pretty much. A really interesting attempted murder case, thrown off by a bunch of incredibly questionable choices in literally every other aspect. Yeah. Knowing Mo, I was surprised the case didn't end with him coming in after all the emotions that flowed out and saying, well, I guess this was a really bad ending for Acro. Oh my god, you sure busted that criminal. That one's good. Bust that criminal. Off topic, I've been oh yeah, I've heard about that argument. I gotta watch that. I do need to watch that. Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta think about this now. So do I have evidence that he's not gonna try to do anymore? I mean, he's going to jail. Man, I don't know. I'm not just making up stuff about Acro not wanting revenge. Acro doesn't want revenge. Blah, 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 blah. Man. Humming the victory theme. Yeah, I was vibing, and now it's like silence. Is it the badge? Is it the badge? Is it? Let's try it. Let's try it. Hint? Okay, give me the hint. I don't want to fail it. I don't want to mess up. Is it the badge? Is it something silly? I don't know what kind of hint you're gonna give me. Hint implies not telling me the answer, so I don't know what you're gonna say, but sure. Profile. Oh, it's a profile. Okay. Badge would have been funny though. Okay. Welcome back, Panda! I have to assume that you missed a lot. I just finished the case. This is like the epilogue. Acro doesn't want revenge. Here are the top 10 reasons why. Number 10. La 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 la. Maybe Bat? Maybe the Ringmaster? So what about this? Now do you understand there's no need to worry?
You were lying to me! No one ever tells me the truth. No one ever tells me what's going on!
Don't. Looks like I made a mistake with that one. Poor Regina. God damn it! Oh, how far does this load go? How far does the load, should I just say screw it? Poor Regina. You made her cry even more, you monster. Do I load the save? Let's see, how long ago was this? Bum, 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 bum. I just don't want to redo the ending. Didn't you save right before? I think so. Forgive me if I have to do a lot. Didn't I save right after? Okay. I did. Alright. Of course he's gonna get revenge. I don't think so. Doesn't have any more desire for revenge. There's a scene like this in the final case in which I would make sure you get this right. Get right. This, I don't think it matters too much. I do want to see her reaction if I get it right, though. I do. Okay, so it's a profile. Let's see. Why would Acro not want to have revenge anymore? He doesn't have a desire for it. For Bat? Acro Acro didn't want to get caught for a reason. Okay, see, he was my first thought, and I was like, maybe the Ringmaster? Whatever. He didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again. And you know, I thought about that when he was like, I can't go just yet. I can't leave this world just yet. And it was because he wants to stay for his brother. Because his brother's not dead. He's in a coma, so he could wake up. But I was just like second guessing it again. I know, I'm always not trusting my first instinct. Don't doubt yourself. Here's the thing though, when I don't doubt my instincts and I go for it, it's wrong. When I do doubt my instincts, I'm right. It's a curse. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again. But Bat. That's right, Regina. He's still alive, you know. I never knew. But now that Acro's been caught. I know. What? I'll do it. I'll stay next to Bat as long as it takes. Aw, see, I wanted to see this. Until he opens his eyes, and then until he can meet Acro again. That's so sweet of you, Regina. I'm sorry, Acro. I'm sorry, Bat. Well, hopefully this is enough to give her a little peace of mind. And see, literally, like, the reason why Acro held the coma against her was because she didn't treat it seriously. She just did not even comprehend what had happened. So then he started feeling resentment towards her, like, oh my god, my brother is in a coma and you don't even give a crap. You know what I mean? But if death had just been, you know, not even just death, but just serious issues had just been explained to her, she would have reacted like that. And she would have been like, I'm so sorry, I never meant for this to happen. And then Acro wouldn't have felt all this hatred towards her. He would have been like, you know, I'm upset that this has happened, but you didn't mean to, it was an accident. Let's go visit Bat together. You know, that would have been sweet. But of course, yeah, homeschooling. Homeschooling fails yet again. Oh. Has the badge ever been helpful? Very rarely. Like maybe once or twice, but like it's mostly a joke. Yeah, it gives funny dialogue. Presenting it to everyone usually gives funny dialogue.
Hey, Max.
What is it, Mo?
We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract.
I understand. What a fabulous thing to do for me. I might even leave tomorrow. What's going to happen to the circus now?
That's the big question. Our Ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone's sticking together. The staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I've made a decision.
What is it?
I've decided I will take over as the new Ringmaster. I'll turn this circus into the best circus this world has ever seen.
The best circus the world has ever seen?
Don't laugh!
That's quite the goal. Yay, I can't wait. Then I guess that changes things.
Huh?
There's only one thing the best circus the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means this circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen.
Max!
Let's work together and make our circus super fabulous! What do you say, big guy?
I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you.
Regina, you're gonna help them out too, aren't you? I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without me.
What are you talking about, Regina? Why do you think that I brought you to court today? We've gotta work together to make the Berry Big Circus bigger than it's ever been.
Mo. Mo's right, sweetie pie. It can't be the Berry Big Circus without Regina Berry. Max.
Nick, it seems like everything is going to turn out all right here. I can't wait to go see the best circus the world has ever seen.
We'll save you the most fabulous seats.
It'll take us a while to get ready, but I'm gonna order special whoopee cushion seats.
Had to have a last laugh for the road, eh, Mo? I see. What made the case?
Yesterday's surprise raid really paid off, just like you said it would, sir.
Oh.
You had it all figured out, didn't you?
It was just a theory. If Acro really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. especially if he was the defense attorney.
You mean Mr. Wright?
Of course. Well, Detective, my plane is about to leave. As for Mr. Acro's case, you need not worry. I plan to personally stop by the Chief Prosecutor's office as soon as I get back.
Understood, sir.
I'll be waiting for you, Mr. Edgeworth.
I knew it! I knew it!
New suit, huh? Episode 3. Turnabout Big Top. The end. Oh! There we go! New episode! Farewell, my turnabout. I got a trophy! Brand new episode has been added. Woo! Okay. Do I just keep going? I think it saved. Did it say it saved just now? Did anybody notice that it saved? I was just like yelling about Edgeworth. Oh! 0% love with Edgeworth. Ooh. That's a tough one. Oh man. That's tough. Did it save, y'all? Did anybody see that it saved? Do I have to keep going to save? I don't think so. It saved, right? Oh. I always keep going and then like I start it and then I don't remember what happened. Sound like Edgeworth went AFK and everyone assumed he died, right? Like he's gone and then they're like, he's dead! And he's just like in Hawaii on vacation. Oh my goodness. Well, I think it saved. Let's go over here. Even if it didn't save, I could very quickly get back to this point next time, so. Anyway, he's grumpy, as expected. Yep. He's very bad at leaving notes. Yeah, I mean, the note is what made them think he died. But he's just too dramatic for his own good. My mans! Oh my god. I knew the person that was talking was Edgeworth. I really think they'd be better off without Max. Yeah, I'm like, can Max stay away from Regina, maybe? Mo's moving up in the world. He's going from a clown to a clown in a suit. That's what Phoenix is. It's a clown in a suit. The circus goes to next of kin. Communication! Communication would be good. Yeah, we actually finished this case just in time. We're at about to hit 4 hours, so there you have it. Next week's gonna be so hyped. Yeah, I'm really excited. So that'll be the last case for the second game. And once we're done with that, we'll move on to the last game in the trilogy before we get to the Chronicles. So yeah, we're making our way through it. We're doing it, we're doing it. This case definitely wasn't the best. It was not my favorite, but you know, I did it, it's done. And now we have a cool case with Edgeworth. Why is Poppy crying? She. Poppy! Come here. Up, up! Where are you? Up, up! Come on! All the worms are in the way. Up, up! Good girl. There she is.
Poppy's here to say goodnight! She's here to say goodnight! Yeah! She's here to say goodnight! She's here to say goodnight! Yeah! She's here to say goodnight! Say bye-bye! Say bye-bye!
Pop. Yeah, Pop. Yeah. Give me Pop. Yeah.
What are you doing? No! No! You can't leave! You can't go! You can't go! You can't go yet! Ew! 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 You can't go! You can't go! No! No! No!
I'm gonna hold you like a baby. She doesn't love it though. I'm gonna hold you like a baby.
Yeah, that's right! You're just a little baby dog! You're just a little baby! Look at your little paws!
How do you feel? How do you feel about the circumstances you now find yourself in? She doesn't like it. She really doesn't.
But I wanna hold you like a little baby. I wanna hold you like a little baby. Why can't I do it? It's a chubby little baby. It's a chubby baby.
because I'm holding her already.
Puppy.
Oh, good girl. Oh, good girl. That's all I wanted. I just wanted you to do something cool. Ah, good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl.
There you go. Yeah. She'll do it anyway. That's how she tells me to keep petting her anyway. I just turn it into a command, so she'll do it anytime.
Look at all this pudge. Look at this pudge. Look at this. Look at that. Yeah. Look at all of the pudge. Oh my god.
Yeah. Look, she wants more. She wants more. She's like, yes. Squish my pudge more.
Yeah. Yeah, you want more. You want more lovin's.
There's so many worms on the floor. That's the sound you're hearing. Just little worms. Talking like babies at the sight of pop. Yeah, I love how everyone's doing like baby talk in chat.
Here's a poppy potato. Poppy a potato in a sweater. You good a little potato.
This is how much I love Poppy. Oh, Arkham's redeemed magic worms. Why is she chunky? I don't know. She's so chunky. Ugh. Looking directly into the camera. She's like in the office.
Mother, not the worms, mother.
Bishi be like, it's not my fault the worms are on the ground. My brother in Christ, you made the redemption. My brother in Christ, you redeemed the worms. But yeah, anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with some Kirby. There's my social media up there. I'm most active on Twitter and YouTube. And we have a Discord open to anybody. You don't gotta be subbed. And again, I hope I see y'all tomorrow. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!